So it's time once again for our King for a Day series, where we invite some poor, unfortunate soul to take control of our world in a hypothetical dimension and tell us how they would run it. Yeah, that's it. The rules are simple. 1, you must adhere to all existing laws of nature, physics, and reality, so no creating unlimited resources. 2, you don't have to adhere to any moral or legal existing framework. And number 3, you work in anonymity, so no one will seek reprisal against you for your actions when you're done, so you can go wild. Tonight's King for a Day was supposed to be an international man of mystery, giving out plenty of what no one really wants. A guy by the name of Insanity is Free, Jeremiah Harding. But unfortunately, we've had some scheduling problems. And being an international man of mystery, he's very hard to get a hold of. And in the meantime, Cassie and I have been having quite a wonderful discussion, and we thought we'd like to invite you in on it. So welcome to the show.
Hey, we were discussing our guns, actually, and how...
Well, we started off with the shooting in Colorado.
Yeah.
And how one person was killed. And, I said, well, here come the calls for the guns. Even, Cory Booker standing up saying, I want to make a law that takes all the guns away. And somebody said, well, what about people that say you're not going? I'm not giving up my gun. Well, yeah. Next question. Like, no. Hold on. You need to answer that.
And how are you going to know if somebody hasn't hid the guns?
Yeah,
knowing that you're coming. Like,
have you ever heard of guns for show and guns for go? Does the fact that I point out on a regular basis that I do not own any registered firearms not ring in your head?
And a lot of people coming from a very urban environment, we'll call it that. Most of the guns that you would see on the streets are illegal.
Yeah, they're not legal. Like, I lived in Little Five for a year. Nightmare. Don't ever do that. If you want to go live in Atlanta, live somewhere other than Little Five. Sure,
it's cool. It's so pretty.
It's cool for like the first month, and then the crackheads start really getting on your nerves. and you just can't take it anymore. You just want to go to sleep at night. I know they're up all night painting the sky blue for the next day and all that kind of crap, but we want to sleep.
See, I grew up in like Riverside, San Bernardino County. So like when I went to Little 5 Points and saw it, I was like, oh, this is like home.
Yeah. But it was a nightmare. But the point is, I want to say that I saw around 20 firearms there, and not one of them was registered. And I would guess that at least half of them had their serial number scratched off.
Mm-hmm.
The guns that are being used in crimes, they're not legal guns. They haven't been legal guns for years.
No,
they were more than likely stolen at some point. Somebody scratched a serial number, sold it to his buddy, who sold it to his buddy, who sold it to her buddy, who stole it from, who had it stolen from him by a girlfriend. And it just goes on and on. These guns get passed around.
And they're even coming across the border.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, people will commit a crime with a gun, and then they'll hold on to the gun or put it somewhere where they hope no one can find it. And then the police will come and say, hey, we're going to do a no questions asked buyback. If we're trying to rid the streets of guns, no questions asked, just bring in your gun. Like, okay, I've got 15 pieces of evidence I need to get rid of.
Yeah. Odd. And it's human nature. Human nature is to argue and to fight. And
the fact that we can't even agree on whether or not people should have guns is an absolute reason that we should have guns. Because at some point, somebody's going to lose their temper and hit the other person with a stick with a nail.
Yeah.
Don't underestimate those aliens from The Simpsons. They knew when to be afraid. They have sticks with nails. They will. These humans will kill anything with anything. They will
pretty much
just kill any. Yeah. All of human history is people killing each other.
Yeah. It's a lot of like that very tribal mentality, as even though we've grown as a society, that's still very much in our brains. We are still animals. I know people do not like hearing that, but we are.
Yeah.
We are still animals.
I mean, there are of course exceptions. Like, did you hear about that empire that was like 1,200 years, not a single war, completely peaceful? Yeah, neither did I. It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It's not a real thing. I just made that shit up off the top of my head. There is no such thing.
Yeah.
Every time that a people have decided that, hey, we're just going to be peace and love and harmony, guess what? Their neighbors go, hey, idiots, and kill them.
Exactly.
And then take their land and their women and their stuff.
This is happened for centuries and centuries.
Yeah.
We can go all the way back to the beginning of man.
The first time a guy realized that he could hit another guy with a stick and take his stuff, that's when it started happening, and it hasn't stopped since. The stick has evolved.
Yeah.
Okay. In Great Britain, they're telling you can't have a knife. They're like, I forget who it was that said there is no legitimate reason for a person to be carrying a knife. Bullshit. You can wake me up in the middle of the night out of a dead sleep. I can give you 1,000 reasons a person needs a knife, and not one of them to deal with safety, not one of them to deal with hurting other people. Every single one of you utilitarian.
Yeah.
It's a screwdriver. It's a nail file. Do I really need to go on? Like, just think of how many times you're like, oh, I need something. Oh, yeah, that knife will do. Like, seriously, how many? Go right now. Every one of you, get up, walk over to your kitchen, grab your knife block if you have one of those.
Yeah.
Pull out your knives and see how many of the tips are twisted. I guarantee you used them for something that wasn't cutting meat. It is the most useful tool on the planet and has been for thousands of years.
Yes.
There are many, many reasons that people need knives.
Well, not just that. Think about it. If something were to happen and people actually had to revert back to our primal instincts of how to find food.
That would deal with the
Knives,
population
huh?
that would deal with the population problem pretty quick.
I mean, like, there is that slight reality that could happen, you know?
You're not getting my can opener. Because that's what we're all really going to be fighting over. We'll all have canned food, but no one will be able to open it.
And then there's the one person like me.
Yeah, the one person with a can opener and another guy with a gun. Who do you think is going to go hungry that night?
Or like,
because if you have the gun, you could just shoot the can.
Yeah, true.
See, you thought I was going a different direction with that, didn't you?
Well, and then you have to think about, like, most people nowadays do not know how to skin animals at all. I'm one of the few that knows how to do it.
I think a lot of people wouldn't be able to do it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think a lot of, especially younger people, I don't think that they'd be able to stomach it. I mean, like, I know a lot of people, oh, yeah, I could do that. Yeah, until you do.
No. No, it's hard.
When the smells hit you and you're like, wait, there were smells? Yeah, there are smells.
There are smells. Yep.
Yeah.
And it's like, you have to think about yes, there are crimes that are committed with guns, but what are the other things that it's made our world a lot more useful? Hunting. There's a lot of hunters out there, you know?
Yeah, do you have any idea how many squirrels I would have in my attic if guns didn't exist?
Exactly.
No, there are plenty of practical uses, and I'm not going to deny that primarily among them is to kill other human beings. And yes, sometimes other humans need to be killed, and not because they haven't done anything wrong, not because they're not doing anything wrong or they won't do anything wrong, or even because there are too many of them. No, I'm not crazy, but there are times when you have to do that. The thing that none of us really wants to ever have to do.
No.
I certainly don't want to kill anybody. And I say none of us, but, I'm accepting, of course, the guy that's probably running at you with a steak knife as I'm thinking about the scenario in my head.
Yeah.
Of course, if a guy's coming at you with a steak knife and he's within range to get you, I would recommend hitting him with the gun first. No, I'm dead serious about this. I'm not kidding. Because a knife at a close range is more dangerous than a gun. I would recommend hitting him as hard as you can in the head with the gun before he reaches you, because if you shoot him, there's no guarantee you're going to stop him, and he very well might get to you. And if he gets you with that knife, it ain't going through, it's going in, and that's bad. That's bad.
No, yeah, and it's
I think what is it? Mythbusters actually did the bring a gun to the knife fight, and they were like, no, actually, within 10 feet, a knife is more dangerous.
Yeah, and unless you've been trained to how to like get a knife from somebody, which I don't know anybody except for people in the military that know how to do this.
No.
So, you're fucked.
I'll tell you this too. By the way, if you have a knife within your range, or a couple of them, I don't know how to knife fight, and I wouldn't pretend to know. I don't really know how to throw a knife, but I can make it stick like 2 out of 3 times, or one out of 3 times, like, and I bounce it off the other 2.
Yeah.
But bottom line is, I don't care if that knife is going to bounce off or stick. I don't know. If it's flying at me, I'm dodging. I would be terrified of a flying knife, and that's why I say if you have a couple, just start throwing them.
Yeah, I
Worst
mean,
case scenario, you hit them with the butt of the knife in the head, and they're like, "Oh!" And then you can kick them in the face, whatever.
Yeah.
Don't come to me for self-defense advice. I'll tell you to get bees.
Well, I mean, I did take I took sword fighting in school for many years. I don't know when I'm never gonna use it.
That's not true. That's not true. The guy that plays Jaime Lannister, Walder Casteau or whatever, he actually took fencing in high school and was on the fencing team and all that. I mean, turns up to play Jaime Lannister.
I mean, I was pretty good, but practical use in fencing. What is that?
You could be on Game of Thrones. Well, not anymore.
No. I mean, a zombie apocalypse.
Oh yeah. There's always like and by the way, that's another reason. Definitely another reason for the guns, because I guarantee you, when the zombies are chasing you, you're gonna wish you lived next to a redneck.
Oh yeah.
You're like, God damn it, where's the redneck when I need him? I shouldn't have made so much fun of him on Twitter.
Oh, I live by a bunch of rednecks. Actually, I'm friends with a couple of rednecks. Yes, the Latin girl is friends with a bunch of rednecks.
Who's been friends with a redneck? Rednecks are great.
Oh, you know what? You go over to a redneck's house and go be like, I can't do this.
They're a little hard to deal with after a long period of time.
Yeah.
But oh man, they're great. They're great. If you don't have any redneck friends, go get you some redneck friends. They're awesome. Like, trust me on this. You think I'm crazy? You're like,
yeah.
Fucking no, do it seriously. Go get some redneck friends.
No, like the people that live across the street are very redneck, and you know what's really fun is sometimes I can't do something, and I can't figure out how something works.
And they'll just be like, "Here, hold my beer."
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
hold on, little sister. Let me get that started for you. You're like, oh, thank you. And then you get your whole lawn mowed without even, like, you just standing there like, oh, yeah, it's working. Sure is. Drinking your beer. But, like, does it push well on that side? I don't know, man. It's kind of pulling to the left. See, when I come down like this, like, yeah, come back up and show me again.
And then, no, actually, they came over the other day because we were having issues with our gutters. And the old man just came over and he like fixed the gutters and cleaned them out for me. And he's like, girl, no. You shouldn't be doing that. You're a woman. I'm like, okay.
All the feminists who are getting mad, just imagine that you need your gutters cleaned out and some guy just comes over and does it for free because you're a girl. Are you going to bitch?
No. Nope.
Because free stuff is always good.
And it's always, and what?
It's always worth exactly what you pay for it, but it's always good.
Yes, and it's the crazy man that's screaming at you. The redneck is going to be the one that's going to be like,
Hey, what you messing with her for? Come on, here, come talk to me. Hey, that redneck will go and get in a fist fight with you after you called him a Nazi.
Yeah.
And he's totally not a Nazi. He was really insulted by that, but he still is going to go get in a fist fight for you
Yeah.
because you're his neighbor.
Yeah.
Like that's you. Seriously, people need more redneck friends. But
Yeah.
my advice: small doses.
Yeah.
Small doses.
Yeah. Because it gets a bit much.
Oh, and by the way, if you ever want to know how to do anything like, I don't know, fishing or skinning a deer, yeah, they'll show you. They probably got one out back they're working on right now.
or so what do we do when the lake is almost filling up? Oh, thank you.
No, I mean, like, I actually,
Yeah.
and you can't dismiss them as ignorant either. They're
No.
actually a lot of them are very well educated in a lot of subjects. In fact, I got a whole history lesson on ticks and Lyme disease from one when I learned how to skin a deer.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Whoa, dude, where'd you learn all this?" I read it in a book.
You would be
Got the book inside. You want to read it?
you would be surprised. Actually, for the most part, I've met.
They're very well educated. A lot of them are very well educated, especially in their fields.
Yeah.
They're the kind of people that learn the stuff that they need to know to do whatever it is that they want to do in life.
Mm-hmm.
And they will learn not only everything about it, they'll learn everything they're like Hermione's on their subject. I mean, if
Yeah.
it's talk about like welding, they'll not only learn how to weld and all the different welding types, they'll learn the history of welding, how to build your own arc welder out of 2 broken microwaves. And, I'm not kidding. These guys will take it to the next level.
Yeah,
About
they do.
all the crap that they know about welding. They get a welding rig in their backyard, and they're experimenting with new and improved gases. You're like, Jesus Christ, man, you're gonna kill somebody. You're gonna blow up the whole neighborhood. They're the kind of guys that if they, God forbid, one of them gets into nuclear fusion, we're in trouble.
Yeah, we're fucked.
They'll do it. They're the kind of people that will build a nuclear processor in their backyard if they can get their hands on the uranium.
Oh yeah, they would. And so like when you hear them, you're like, they just sound uneducated, but the truth is, they're extremely smart people.
Yeah.
It's just like
not all of them. I will grant you. They are also extremely stupid people. But then again, we all are. We all are. So
yeah, I mean, it's just like, the dog, the person who grew up in the ghetto and got a doctorate. We all know them.
yeah, I can't tell you. I used to work at a private country club and golf course, and I'd say the name, but I don't really want to do that. But anyway, the people that were members of that particular club, they were all incredibly wealthy. They were all incredibly successful.
Yeah.
And I like when I first started working there, my perception about wealth was that the vast majority of wealth is inherited, and most people who are rich didn't earn what they have. And then I went to work at the golf course, and I realized that it's actually 80-20 in the complete opposite direction. About 20% of that money is inherited, and the other 80% are entrepreneurs. They're new money. They're people who are coming up. And the funny thing is, the people that are old money that grew up rich, they're terrible with money. They're the kind of people who at 80 lose their membership because they can't afford it, and they're getting foreclosed on their house, and they don't know where their vast fortunes went. They were born so rich. Why did they? Because they never had to worry about money.
Yeah, and it's the ones.
Yeah.
As I put it, is it's more
hungry people make more money than well-fed ones.
Yeah, and the other thing is, I remember a teacher in high school actually told me this. It's more deadly in the society we live in than the girl from a ghetto mentality and an education.
What's that?
Nothing. Nothing.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, here's the thing: is if you find yourself well educated and you look at systems and you're like, you're obsessing over oppression and emotional arguments and this and that, and you're not really made to succeed. You're gonna kill yourself in this society. Just like go live on a farm somewhere.
Okay.
Go for a more peaceful life. Like, if you can't hear about kids in Somalia being forced into piracy because they have no other way of finding ways to get food, and you cannot sleep at night because of that, I'm sorry. There's a lot more that you haven't even studied. That's like the tip of the iceberg about how
Yeah.
depraved humans get. Like, this world isn't. You're not safe for this world. You need to go live on a farm somewhere safe.
I want to live on a farm.
I would
just
love
because.
to. Yeah. Peace and quiet. Although I'd probably go crazy and start talking to the cows or something. Go out there and have like arguments with them about whether or not vaccines are safe and efficacious. The cow's like, stop injecting me with hormones. And be like, I have to. The FDA says so. The cow's like, why are you speaking for me? That's not even how I sound. Moo. So yeah, there's that. But other than that, I think I'd like living on a farm or a ranch or something. You know,
Yeah.
as long as there weren't, say, more than 8 or 9 people within 100 miles.
Yeah.
I could live happily the rest of my life like that. I'd probably, yeah, I'd probably go crazy after a week.
Who said you didn't have to interact with other people? You can invite people over to your.
Oh no, I wouldn't go crazy from non-interaction. I'd go crazy from all. I'd be too happy. I'd be like overjoyed. I'd start building stuff and like there's not like this is a farm. Where are all the trees? I need to cut down some trees so I can build a giant tower. But why do you need to build a tower? I don't know. I just need to. Like I'd become obsessed with silly tasks. I'd be like, let's do a welding shop in the backyard, and I can start making arc welders out of broken microwaves. Where are my redneck friends? No, I get obsessed with projects. I would never go to sleep. My wife would be very angry at me all the time. I'd be having way too much fun to even notice.
You would notice.
I barely notice now. I'm just kidding. I love you, honey.
Remember, she knows where you sleep.
That was not my scared voice, I promise. This is my scared voice.
She knows where you sleep, she knows where your food is, and she knows where your car is. Think about this statement.
But like, I supply all the resources for the home. And I'm only worth like 150 grand, dead. I'm worth a lot more living.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that she can't make your life miserable. That doesn't mean anything.
That's all right. She wants a new van. So I'll remember that.
Yep, you're gonna get her a new van.
She's getting it used. If she gets a van. I didn't admit to anything. I haven't agreed to anything yet.
You're getting her a van.
I'm not getting her a van. Yet.
You guys haven't.
Yeah, I know. We got another one.
Yeah, no. Too many kids in one house. Yeah. And too many kids to transport. Nope, you get a van. It's okay.
We need to go on the Oprah show. You get a car. I want a van. Oh, I'm sorry, sweetie. You get a car. But I wanted a van. I'll pay the taxes on it. There's like one person who's going to hear this 7 years from now and laugh at that joke.
Well, let's see here. I have 3 kids, And you know what ended up happening? I accepted my fate. I have the mom van.
Yeah, I'd love to get one of those $3,000, Dodge Chrysler minivans, but they just, I don't know. I'm a little spoiled on cars to begin with. I see cars as liabilities, but I don't like buying used. On the same token, I don't like buying cars. I don't like spending money. I like just saving it and lording it over people. It's much more fun that way. When you spend it, you have to give it to people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to keep it. It's mine. But no, I'm in all seriousness though. I hate spending money, so I don't want to buy a van. I don't want another car note. But we're refinancing the car right now, and we're hopefully going to lower that payment and pay it off early or something.
Yeah.
Then we can talk about getting a used minivan.
Well, you've seen my van.
They want me to get rid of my car though. They're like, when we get the van, you can get rid of your car. I'd be like, who? Me and this car has been together for 12 years now. We've got a history. Not just my car, this is my friend. No, I drive a stick shift, and I hate driving automatics. Because I slam on the brake too hard, because I for some reason my brain thinks it's the clutch. And so if I get rid of my car, I'm gonna crash everywhere I drive. That's just that's my argument anyway.
Well, I mean, okay, who's going to need to drive said van more? You or her?
Her. But she wants me to get rid of my car and take her car. And I don't want to. I like my car. Even if her car's paid off, mine was paid off first. I don't know. I'm particularly, like, my car is kind of personal to it. Like, I have a personal attachment to my car. It's the first car I made it all the way through paying off without completely totaling. By either mine or somebody else's, decision.
Yeah, see, I have my $4,000 minivan. That is currently. So my battery died.
On your car?
Yeah, so my minivan's just sitting in my yard now. My new lawn ornament. Temporarily, anyway.
It's they're not too expensive. They're like $80.
I know.
They're 120, and then you bring your old battery back and you get 40.
Yeah.
Or something like that. I don't know. It depends on the battery.
Yeah. I'm just like, great.
All they do is, I think what they do is they take the battery apart, they clean the anodes, and then they fill it with battery acid, put the cap back on, and resell it.
That'd be smart.
That's how batteries are recycled.
Yeah.
I think they might put new posts on it depending on how corroded the old battery is, but it's generally how they recycle that, and it's a good thing. But before you feel like you're getting ripped off, like, you have no idea how bad throwing batteries away is for the planet.
Yeah. Well.
Like, I'd rather you put plastic in the ocean, and I am a huge, huge advocate against putting plastic in the ocean. I'd rather you put plastic in the ocean than battery in the ground.
Yeah. I'm just like, just with everything going on, I'm just like, oh, great. Really? But.
Yeah. But anyway, my heart goes out, at least. I don't want to speak for Cassie because she might be cold and heartless, but my heart goes out to the families of the victims in Colorado, and I really hope that they do find peace. Kedrick, hold on, I actually have his name here, and I want to give him the recognition he deserves. Kedrick Castillo, and he was a student. Castillo. Kendrick. Yes. I got the name wrong. Kendrick Castillo. My mistake. My apologies. And I hope that his family is coping well with that. And I hope that they can get through it.
Yeah.
And I hope that people don't use him and his family as a tool to bludgeon their political opponents.
That is no.
I wish you the best in keeping out of the limelight, but I don't think you'll get it.
Yeah. Though, yeah, it's not going to be.
Nobody wants to be famous like that.
No. No, and hopefully his family, gets to kind of draw some solace in what he did. No.
Yeah. Anywho, on that somber note, we're going to go ahead and wrap up and reschedule, hopefully, with Jeremiah Harding. Insanity is free, which, of course, I guess we could use a little bit around here from time to time. Just to mix it up.
Yeah, I mean, we're very. Yeah, I mean, we're all insane in some way or another, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and by the way, I'm totally gonna stick the graphic I made for Jeremiah Harding on this update. And if you get all the way through the video and you're to this point and you're hearing me say this and you're like, you son of a bitch, I clicked on that for the graphic. I'm sorry. No, I'm not. I'm really not. But thank you for watching anyway.
Yeah.
And that concludes our show. We're here every Wednesday night, usually from 11 until 12 p.m. I'm sorry, from 10 to 11. We moved back. We had a special event today because our International Man of Mystery is, of course, an International Man of Mystery. And that's why we pushed back to 6. But we will be at our regularly scheduled time of 10 p.m. from now on every Wednesday night here on the Brain Trust. And if you'd like to be king for a day, please contact me, Dolphin Radio, on Twitter, or Cassie the Ragdoll, or just leave a comment on the video and let us know, and we will absolutely consider it.
Mm-hmm. Also, next week we are not having a show.
That is correct. Next week we are off, and then I believe we're coming back on the 22nd.
Yep. Because
our crew is coming together in one place. We will all be in Atlanta together. It'll be amazing.
Exactly. I'm going to be a very happy person. I'm going to be a very happy ragdolfer.
I'm probably going to have to start drinking again. No.
I'm going to be a very, very, very happy ragdoll. Which is always good.
Thanks. If you like the video, subscribe. You know the drill. Do the tango. And we'll talk to you later.